I'm here with All Aboard Presents and Cubzoa. Thank you much for joining us. It's also Jack Wolter, but basically the way All Aboard works is we go to locations that mean something to the artist. So we're actually in Bella Union at the moment. Do you sort of want to explain what's going on, why we're here?
Well, it's the HQ. Yeah, feel very privileged to be signed to Bella Union. Yeah, which is home to my new album. So it's nice to be here. Yeah.
Unfold in the Sky,
Yeah.
which you can see right here as well. Congrats! It's come out just today as well, this morning. So
It's fresh out of the press.
quite exciting.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of Bella Union, how did you first come to know them?
Well, moved to Brighton with my little sister. We've got a band called Penelope Isles, and we based ourselves here. We moved from the Isle of Man, and thought Brighton would be a good place to kind of like, get a band going and, try and make it. But yeah, we were kind of chipping away for a while, and then Simon, who runs the label, he came to a show here in Brighton, actually.
Whereabouts?
I can't remember the name. It's in Kemp Town. Maybe it's, I don't know if it's still there. Maybe like the Latest Music Bar, I think it might have been called.
Okay, yeah, not heard of it.
Don't think it's still there. But yeah.
How long ago was this?
This would be, oh God, maybe like 6 years ago or something. Yeah, I'd say 6 years. Yeah, we played a show. I heard Simon was in the crowd, and we were all a bit nervous. And then like Simon came up to me after the show. He's like, "Oh, Jack, like pleased to meet you. Like love to like hang out and get some breakfast or whatever." And then he went to go meet Lily, and then Lily just said, "Oh, hang on a minute, mate. Superhands is over there. I'm gonna go say hi to him," and kind of like pard Simon off.
Was it actually Superhands?
Yeah,
What was he doing there?
He was. He
come to see the show.
Yeah, he was a fan of the
man.
band. So he but yeah, luckily, me and Lily met Simon the next day, and then we've kind of been working together we did 2 Penny Isles records, and then this is.
Okay, so not the first time we worked together.
No, this will be the 3rd record that we put out.
And
with
first
Bella
sort
Union.
of solo, I suppose.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bella Union's been home for the last 3 records.
Well, it feels quite fitting then. I suppose.
Totally.
And you got a show here tonight as well.
Yeah, doing an in-store later on. I never played. This is the new Bella
New
Union
HQ.
home. Yeah, so I think they've been here for a few months now. So I'm excited to play some tunes here. Yeah, in the new gaff.
In the new gaff.
Yeah.
Amazing. Just going back, sort of more your origins, I suppose.
Yeah.
Did you used to be in a band called Tiger Years? Was
Yeah,
it?
I
Okay.
did.
I mean, so it started off Tiger Years, then Penelope, then Cubzoa.
Yeah.
But had Cubzoa come before all of that, or?
Cubzoa was after Tiger Years. So Tiger Years was a band I was in when I was at uni in Falmouth in Cornwall, with a bunch of, like, one of my best friends, Brighton. We both went to uni together, and then we met these amazing guys who I'm still friends with now. But yeah, it was kind of we met. They were all in the music. I was doing art. They were all in the music course, and we kind of all got together, and we were all songwriters. So like Tiger Years kind of exists like with like multiple voices, if you'd like. So there's like 5 different singers, 5 different songwriters, and like 5 different like singers across. We made one record which is on Bandcamp. You can check it out.
It's on okay, I tried to find it.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it on.
It's called
Spotify.
Times Divide and Take Away. It's called. But yeah, that was an amazing time, and like just such beautiful boys, and like such amazing, like inspirational, like musicians for me. And we're all still friends, and we're all still playing in bands now. Like everyone's kind of had multiple bands since, and everyone's still going to each other's shows and making records.
Oh, you still stay in touch?
Yeah, totally. Lily's just made a record with Alistair. Alistair was in Tiger Years. He writes music under the name of Last Living Cannibal.
Oh, yeah.
But he's just produced my sister's new album, which is coming out next year. And yeah, man, it's like such an inspirational group that kind of like inspired me to carry on making music. Yeah.
And then from there went on to.
So then it was.
Isles. When did that start?
Penny Isles was actually then after Tiger Years, I moved back to the Isle of Man, and then I started a project called Your Gold Teeth. There's a record on Bandcamp as well, and then after we made a record with Your Gold Teeth, and then after that I started Cubzoa, and then Cubzoa was just kind of an outlet, and I did like a few EPs, and then that's when Lily and I decided, because Lily had Cookie Lou, which is now My Precious Bunny. So she had this thing called Cookie Lou, and I had Cubzoa, and we basically like combined and made Penelope Isles.
Okay.
So like a lot of like the early Cubzoa stuff became Penelope Isles songs.
How do you guys sort of collaborate, if that makes sense? Are you doing the sort of producing, or does she do producing as well?
Yeah, I kind of, in the early, like those records, I would produce it all really. Like, because she made this great EP under the name Cookie Lou, and I had all these songs under Cubzoa, and like we were both like, let's just do it. So that's when we moved to Brighton, and then we made a record called Comfortably Swell, under via Penelope Isles. And that was all made just at home in the Isle of Man before we moved, and then we moved and we had this like EP. It was kind of a full length album really, but we called it an EP.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was all done in just like home studio, just like, you know, in our parents'
DIY
garage. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then it's when we met Simon, maybe like, so we started Penny Isles and we were just gigging around Brighton just to get our name going. And then we met Simon, and then like he had a studio over the other side of Brighton, and that's when we started making the first Penny Isles record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick. And I mean, how important has Lily sort of been on your musical journey, if you know what I mean?
Oh, like massively, man. Yeah, like she's my partner, do you know what I mean? Like my musical partner, like we've...
Did it just feel right as siblings sort of do it together?
Yeah, totally. It was like a no-brainer to kind of combine, and, you know, like we've done so much travelling and like growing, and like, you know, both kind of like, you know, as musicians and as people and as like family, you know, it's like she's so important. And, you know, obviously like making this solo record, like she's still like a big part of it, like she's in it, like obviously not the same
to the same extent.
Yeah, not like a Penny Isles record, but emotionally, like as like, you know, supporting and stuff, like as a sister, she's a big part of it.
Is Penny Isles sort of on the back burner for now then, or?
Nah, I mean technically, yeah, like on paper, like we've, you know, Lily went travelling because like she's a bit younger than me, so we had a bit of a break. She was like, oh, I've just came straight out of uni and like I've just been on the road for like 5-6 years. I haven't really done anything else but music. So she went travelling for a couple of years, and that's when I like kind of finished this record, and that's when I went out and started playing with like CMAT and doing some other things. And then she came back, and we made a record. We've got a record in the bank.
Pipeline.
Yeah. There's one coming out.
Or?
Yeah, it's not been announced or anything, but yeah, we've got an LP number 3 on the way. So
is it more you just also want to have your own creative outlets now as well?
I think so. I think it's good to mix it up. Like, you know, like we're both really excited about doing Penny Isles again. But also equally, it's just been a nice time. It's been an opportunity to do our own thing.
To do your own thing.
And like she's made an amazing record under the name My Precious Bunny, which is like honestly insane. So that's coming out soon. So we'll do our little solo thing, but like she literally plays in my band, I literally play in her band. And
so it's still
kind of,
connected. Yeah.
It's kind of, you know, yeah.
And then coming back to Cubzoa, of course you were sort of you had the name around like sort of 10 years ago or something like that. With like, was it the Aubergine EP?
Yeah, nice. You've done some research, man.
And I suppose how did that name come about? Because obviously I suppose, why did you sort of bring it out from the grave almost? If
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I don't know, like the name comes from, I think everything's always been sea related, like, you know, Penelope Isles, like, you know, like it's always like all the music's often like coastal themed, and Cubzoa like is taken from a jellyfish. It's like a Cubozoa is the kind of scientific name for a box jellyfish. I literally just took a letter out, and like I just think Cubzoa, just like it sounded
why
cool.
the box jellyfish, or was it more that sounded cool? Or?
Yeah, I just like, I mean, to be honest,
they're quite dangerous,
I was literally just like Googling like, you know, like cool sea creatures, and like, you know, just trying to find something that worked, and like, I think Cubzoa sounded cool. I mean, do you know what? Loads of people didn't really know how to pronounce it.
Did you have to tell people how to?
Yeah, I like changed the Instagram handle so it was like Cub-Zoa, and then people just instantly started.
So they got it right, yeah.
But it's just like another sea themed thing. But
and is why the sea themed? Is that from Isle of Man, is it? Or?
No real reason. Just always lived by the sea, I think. Always found inspiration, like always felt comfortable by the sea. Like I mean, poetically, it's just it's quite a bait and obvious thing, but I think it works for a reason. It's very easy to kind of like, take from it and be inspired. But I've always lived by the coast, always. So it's kind of naturally always been something to write about. To connect to,
And all this work in the past all led up, obviously, to Unfold in the Sky.
Yeah.
Could you give everyone a brief understanding about sort of the themes behind the record, maybe how long you've been writing the songs for?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, quite a long time. I think, like, started making the songs knowing it was going to be, like, an album, I think, in lockdown. Knew that I wanted to make something as Cubzoa, like a solo thing, and I wanted to make something that was maybe a bit different from Penelope Isles, like sonically, maybe like leading a little bit away from not necessarily guitar stuff, but more kind of like like how Penny Isles is sonically. I think I was listening to like a lot of electronic music, so I wanted to make an electronic record basically. Even though I don't think it is specifically that, but like that was something I wanted.
There's elements in that.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, no, I've been making
entirely solo as well.
Yeah, made it in our studio here in Brighton. But yeah, kind of started making it. Had a little home set up in lockdown. I think there's like Unfold in the Sky, the song. I think the guitars from that is like really old recordings from just my bedroom in lockdown. But yeah, it's like 4 years in the making, I think.
4 years. All the songs are within that time frame.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of like chopped and changed. I remember when I first started, like when I got into the studio, like after lockdown, and like I started like really knuckling down, like building it. It was like I really wanted it to sound different to Penelope Isles. I wanted it to sound like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna sound like Bicep or like Fortet. I'm gonna get all like, and I just like, if I'm honest, like. It like really,
your own style.
Yeah, it really kind of like stopped me from doing it. Like I was like trying to force myself to be something that like
wasn't quite feeling. It sort of feels like it mixes that with almost a sort of Dope Lemony vibe. If you know what I mean, it's like a combo over two.
Yeah, I just like basically like set these boundaries and it wasn't working, and then it's like I think that's another reason why it took so long. And then I was like in and out of job. I was like doing some tour managing, doing some driving. I was like playing in some bands, and like I was quite busy, so I'd like come back and like start. And I was just like trying to find my way with it. I was like privileged enough that I wasn't in any rush to make it. Like I didn't have a deadline. But it's only when I went in, I was just like, oh, do you know what? Like I can't. Like I'm just gonna make something that I want to make today and like have some fun and make it. That's when like it started working.
Probably working on the old, more electronic-y bits.
Yeah.
Had probably come into your playing almost, but then you don't have to use it to that extreme.
Totally. I just didn't get too caught up on like making it sound different. You know, it's just like, it's when I went, okay, let's just like, just have some fun in the studio, and then like it kind of naturally started happening, and then, you know, the process was a bit easier then.
Are the songs sort of knocking around from elsewhere, or was it you go in the studio and write the songs as well, if that makes sense?
I would say most of them, I don't know, actually, like Buckle Up was written just like on a guitar in lockdown. That's like kind of a lockdown tune. But then you've got stuff like Dance With Me, that song, it was completely in the studio, just like...
just riffing in there.
Yeah, I was like messing around with some like kind of machines, and I was listening to quite a lot of like trap stuff and like kind of like more kind of like heavier like industrial stuff, and that kind of inspired that one. But yeah, so like a bit of a mixture really.
And in terms of the themes of the songwriting, what would you sort of explain it to be? I
would say, I mean, a lot of love and heartbreak, and like I think trying to move on, and like acceptance, like I think it was a bit of a therapy record, if I'm honest. Like it's like kind of like moving on from like a certain time, and like
how long ago was a certain time?
I would say like the last 10 years in Brighton. Like I've moved out of Brighton, but like I lived here for like 10 years, and yeah, it was a bit of a journey. Like I didn't always love Brighton. I kind of like moved.
Why not? In what sense?
I don't know. I think like probably just like where I was personally, but like I love Brighton now, and I really do. You know, it's like this record's kind of like I've like started it and finished it, and now I'm like in this amazing.
It feels like your Brighton record. And
yeah, totally. It's like even like just like unfolding in the sky. Even like the kind of. It's basically like all the songs are entwined within Brighton. Basically, it's not necessarily about Brighton, but it's about like the chapter that was
yourself in Brighton.
Totally, and the kind of like unfolding and like. Kind of like becoming like a little bit clearer within myself and like being happier and just like, you know, I think just
contenting
growing
in yourself, I suppose.
Yeah, totally, man, totally, yeah.
And then the actual artwork as well, I suppose, does that almost encapsulate those feelings within the Ice Cube in a sense?
Yeah, everyone's saying it's an Ice Cube, which like I'm just going to secretly say it is because.
Oh, is it not?
I mean, like it can be. It fully looks like an ice cube. Now everyone's saying it, but it wasn't like.
What was the idea?
It wasn't meant to be like an ice cube. It was just meant to be kind of like a vessel, or like kind of like stuck, or like kind of like encapsulated. I think, but it was
and
more.
What's inside
so
there?
this is actually a little mini model of me.
Okay.
It's like a little 3D scan. It's actually like I'm gonna do like how it's made video. I've made one of them, so I'm going to release that on my gram, so like you can check it out. But basically it's inspired by an image taken by my good mate Declan, who actually plays drums on the record too. Basically he took this like really weird photo of me when we were in the Isle of Man. Like we all went on this like little trip to the Isle of Man like a couple of years ago, and there's this picture of me like kind of doing this pose like on top of the only mountain on the Isle of Man. It's called Snaefell.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a really weird image, but the image itself, like I wanted to make it into a sculpture because I wanted to like to make something that like kind of like was in the same action of like writing the music. So like basically the sculpture was like I like put myself in this little box and then like filled it with like a silicone, like epoxy resin stuff, and then it like basically it dried, and then I ripped all the wood off it, and it was just like a case of sanding and revealing and kind of like making like sense of it, if you know what I mean, like kind of like some clarity in it. And it was the kind of process of like bringing something like not back to life, but kind of like making it so that you could like see clearly again.
See clear. Yeah,
so that's kind
and
of
you did it all yourself, did you then?
Yeah,
wow.
Maybe. Tried to anyway, but it looks like an ice cube. It was never meant to.
So. Cut the Ice Cube there.
No, I like it. I like the fact it's an ice cube.
It sort of fits with the themes anyway, if you know what I mean. And just touching on a few songs from the album, I mean, you're going to play a session for us as well. What songs are you going to play for us?
I'm not sure yet. I think I said to you, didn't I?
Yeah, you're going for Choke?
I can do Choke, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I suppose Choke was one of the singles off it, and I suppose out of all of them, that specifically did speak to me in terms of maybe the ending of a relationship, perhaps. Is that what you're going for with that one?
Yeah, I guess it is like a kind of, it's like a, that's exactly what it is, like a love song or heartbreak song, yeah.
And was that quite a pivotal song in the process?
Yeah, I'd say so. Choke was like one of the first songs that I started making. Actually, that's not true. Like, it's one of the first songs that I like started making. Like, I did the drums for Choke like ages ago, like just after lockdown. And then like the song, I could never write lyrics for it. Like I could never write lyrics, and it was unfinished. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. There's a vibe to it, and I could never really finish it. And then I was doing a session with my mates that play in this electronic band, and they came in and they wanted me to like basically sing on one of their tracks, and I had these lyrics, and I sang it on their song, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then the next day I actually used the same lyrics, and I was like, I wonder if that'll work on that song. And it just worked really well. And like Choke basically, like after like years just like laying dormant, like basically like was finished just like that. So weird, like just
out of nowhere suddenly,
just like
something sparked it back to life.
So weird. And then got my friend Nana, who plays in an amazing band called Lowly. She kindly sang the second verse, which I think gives it like a beautiful element. Yeah.
And there was actually whilst I was listening to the album this morning, there was one song in particular. I I didn't know I was gonna touch on it until this morning, but Lovin' Too, the opener.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just because I was listening to it and it sort of goes a bit psyche dreamy, then suddenly hits in with the grunge gaze as well. I mean,
In Two Worlds.
in Two Worlds, yeah. In
nice.
Two Worlds. Sorry, I don't know what I said there,
That's
but
all right, that's good.
did that instantly know that was going to be the opener?
No, I mean, yeah, the track listing was really hard, but it made sense because I feel like it's literally like two worlds. I mean, the song's meant to be like you're in the spaceship and you're like, you've been blasted off and you're like basically like leaving, you're leaving home, you're leaving like Earth and you're in space and you're like, you know, it's all this hectic, like fumes, fireballs everywhere. And then you hit that like moment of like, you know, when gravity like stops and it's just like, yeah, and it's kind of this like looking back on like this situation, but also going to a new situation. It's like, but for me, it felt like it was like a good like example of the album because I think there's that kind of like heavy electronic and then there's that organic kind of like more acoustic vibe.
And you're sort of stuck between both
Yeah,
worlds.
it kind of sets the scene, I think, like for the album.
Yeah. No, it definitely does. And then another one that you might be playing for session is Unfold in the Sky.
Yeah.
Why did that feel like the title of the album? Was that from the song?
Yeah, the song came first, and then I thought it would be cool to title the album from that. Yeah, that song's just kind of like a love song for my sister. Actually, it's just like it was more just like it was like me and her, like we've been chipping away and like really just put everything into
Your craft.
Yeah, into the band and like, you know, like financially and emotionally. And then it was like lockdown that like really screwed everyone over. But I think like just it felt not unfair, but I mean it was unfair.
The timing didn't
it wasn't like
right.
woe is me, but it was more just like, oh, like we'll be all right. You know what I mean? Like that's like, you know, aside from the band as well, you know, it's kind of like personal relationships and like, you know, we're both going through stuff and it's just like
at a similar time as well.
Yeah,
right,
it was like, you know, we'll be all right, like, and yeah, it's kind of like a song of hope and like, you know, but yeah, so it kind of felt like the right name for the album.
For the album as well. Okay, brilliant. And just leaving the album for now, you've actually also been touring with CMAT at the moment as well, and recently one of the All Aboard alumni, Fiona Lee, who we had on a few months ago, you've just toured a little bit with her as well.
Yeah, Fiona supported us, yeah.
Yeah, she's played one of our shows as well, actually.
Cool.
So, yeah. So, thanks for being on as well. But in terms of CMAT, I mean, how did you guys first meet, if you know what I mean? And was it an instant sort of you want to collaborate together, or did CMAT find you through Penelope?
Yeah, she phoned me up. She was like, oh, really love your band. Do you want to join my band? No, it didn't happen like that.
It was like, God, that was easy.
Literally, honestly, like, so when Lily went travelling, I just went out because we've got a van, and I went out like working with loads of bands. So I was like crewing.
That you already knew. Oh, crewing.
Yeah,
right.
I wasn't playing. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go out. I'll make some money. I earn more money crewing rather than playing. So I just like went out and actually like started like earning a bit of cash, just like going.
How did you find the bands, or just through word of mouth?
Yeah, word of mouth. I mean, like I've been on the scene for a little bit, so like, you know, I'd go out with like friends, and then like I was out in Amsterdam. Amazing venue called Paradiso, and they've got like a little smoking area on the canal, and I was having a ciggy, and I met CMAT's tour manager, Jamie. Big up Jamie. Lovely guy, good friend of mine now. And he was like, oh yeah, like, because I was like driving, I actually think I was driving Penelope Isles at that point. We were out gigging, and we met Jamie, and he's like, oh, like, you know, I said, if you ever need a driver, like, I've got this van. And then, yeah, basically just started working for CMAT. Like, I was
it 3 years ago or so?
Yeah, about 3 years ago. I was literally Kira's guitar tech for, like, a couple of tours. And then, for whatever reason, the guitarist that was working with her at the time, like, that didn't work out. And I was literally, like, Kira had been to, like, one of my shows. I did a solo show in Brighton. And, you know, I think, you know, she was just, like, into, like, my playing. And I said, you know, I'll play guitar if you want. And then... yeah, like fast forward like 2 months, we were doing like, I think Graham Norton was the first gig I did.
First gig?
Yeah.
Flung into it?
Yeah, just jumped in, and then, yeah, it's been amazing. Like, I love it. Like, I love her music, like, dearly. So it's like, you know, like
it fits, as in it feels right for you to be doing it as well.
Totally. And like, you know, the band that play live, I mean, Colin, keyboard player, he has worked on the records, but like we're all, like Kira works with other people when she's made the last few records, like mainly her producer, Ollie Deacon. So we don't really have anything to do with like the writing or the making. Like, she does all that. Like she's a weapon, man. She's amazing.
She does it all, does she?
Yeah, like Euro countries, like, you know, it's all her and Ollie. So yeah, we're just really lucky to play the songs.
So you're sort of session in a live setting.
It is, I mean, technically we're session players, but it's not really. It's not. Yeah, it feels like we're you know, we're a gang, and like it's a very special project to be a part of. For sure.
Have you learnt a lot from it as well?
Totally, yeah. I mean, just like playing amazing, like massive shows all the time, and learn how to be on the road a lot. Kind of like, yeah, learn how to live out of a suitcase.
Oh, is it proper? It's
Yeah.
proper. It's not as glamorous as
I don't really go home. I haven't been home much recently, put it that way. But
okay,
but it's amazing, man. Like the best people, and like I love her music dearly. So yeah,
amazing. Well,
yeah,
it seems like a good match then.
Yeah.
And sort of just starting to wrap this up, just in terms of the album, what do you hope people might take away from it?
I don't know. Hopefully just like an interest. I don't know, an entertaining listen. I don't know. Like I'd like to think it's a bit of a journey. The record.
And you want them to listen to it as the album.
Yeah, I think it's a record. Yeah, it's like I think it's like It's like from start to finish. It's a bit of a journey, and like there's a lot going on. I'd love for people to listen to it like again, if you know what I mean. Like I'd love for people to put it on again. Like,
and pick up something else from it.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I love that in albums.
There's quite a few little layers underneath, I feel like you probably don't pick up on the first listen. Almost,
yeah, it'd be cool if people give it a spin and bought it. That would be good.
And there's one question I like to ask just to wrap this up with artists is, if you were to imagine your 15-year-old self going to watch you maybe tonight at your gig, what song do you think they'd be most proud of?
What, as in
if you would, what song are you most proud of to show your 15-year-old self?
Cool.
Yeah.
That's such a good question. On this album, I would probably say 15-year-old me, probably like In Two Worlds or something like on the heavier side.
Oh, come on, yeah. Still rocking and rolling.
Because I was kind of like into my like hardcore stuff then, like grungy, like heavier stuff.
How heavy are you talking?
I mean,
heavy.
like Tool, like, you know, like pretty heavy, like kind of like Deftones, more poppier stuff, and then like lots of emo things as well. Yeah. Like I was really into like, you know, like a lot of emo music back then. So yeah, probably like In Two Worlds, something a little bit more like grittier. I'd be stoked.
And shows your sort of mellower psyche side as well within there.
Yeah, totally.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Archie.
This has been Cubzoa and All Aboard Presents.
Nice one, man.
And listen to the album.